From Armstrong Central High School tonight, the Riverhawks play host to the defending 5A state champion, Penn Hills Indians. A very pleasant good evening, and a pleasant good evening it is. Along with my broadcast partner, Nicholas Callis, I'm Bill Navari. And Nicholas, tonight a very important game for these Riverhawks to try to get back in contention. A playoff team last year, they're trying to get back into playoff hunt in 5A again this season.
Yeah, it's been a correlation over the last couple years. Ever since running back Zane Dudek left the team, it's been a slow and steady decline for this team. In 2016, the team went 7-1. 2017, 4-4 in conference. Then in 2018, 3-4. Now 2019, this team's 0-2, only has one win overall. It's 1-3 overall. Last of 8 teams in the Northern Conference. It's been a tough year for Armstrong. It's been a tough couple of years trying to rebuild a game that was so focused on the run 3 years ago.
Penn Hills Indians, 10-game conference winning streak. They're undefeated in conference play again this year, obviously. They are a half game behind the North Hills Indians because North Hills has played one more conference game than they have. That may come down to week 10 between the Indians and the Indians to decide this conference if Penn Hills can keep winning. Armstrong, they would like to try to have a say in that and end that Penn Hills Indian winning streak.
Yeah, Penn Hills has struggled fundamentally, and I've been talking about the fundamentals of football for this Penn Hills team for the last 2 weeks that we've been covering these games. Against Mars a couple weeks ago, there were 5 offside penalties on defense, and then last week on Penn Hills' first 2 offensive drives, there were fumbles. So it's all about just doing the little things right, and Penn Hills has struggled with that, and that's caused a 14-7 game and a 7-3 game. Kiski area came very, very close to beating Penn Hills last week, and Mars was just as close a couple weeks ago.
For those of you watching at home, just a note here, the purple towels Penn Hills is wearing tonight is in honor of assistant coach Steve Bucas and his wife Amy and their son Steven. Steven has a rare genetic mutation in his KCNQ2 gene, causing intractable epilepsy. Purple is the color of epilepsy awareness. It is an honor for the Bucas family to be part of a football team and community that is helping spread awareness for families like theirs who need the support of friends and family. Coach Steve is particularly thankful because he is able to do something he loves with a group of coaches who become his best friends and a group of kids who make his day every day. Both the coaches and the players have had a bigger impact on the Bucas family than they will ever know. The purple towels are a very small thank you from the Bucas family to players and fans.
We're going to defer. You want the ball.
Armstrong's won the toss. They have deferred. Penn Hills clearly will take the ball, though I have seen rare instances. Teams have, we'll kick off. You sure? Yeah, they're thinking they're going to get the ball, but no, they're going to kick off twice.
Penn Hills, down here.
So Penn Hills, the offense, will start off with the football, an offense which has been struggling.
Well, to counter that as well, Penn Hills, an offense that's been struggling, and Armstrong, a defense that has been struggling. 1,136 yards Armstrong's defense has given up just on the run against its first 4 opponents this year, and that's good for 284 yards a game. That's a big issue that Armstrong's going to have to overcome, is stopping the run. And Penn Hills has a strong enough offense that if it's clean and it's smooth and it's able to move the ball in that way, Penn Hills will be dangerous. But it's all about executing and staying clean with it.
First ever trip of these Penn Hills Indians up to Armstrong Central High School. Armstrong Central has only been in existence for a few years. Beautiful new high school up here, just where you can look upriver and see Katanning and downriver and see Ford City, the two communities combined to make this high school. This new stadium up here, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm telling you, this might be one of my favorite press box views, Nicholas.
Oh, it is. The camera angle is what you're seeing, is exactly what we're seeing for the most part. It's nice up here, and then the bleachers have wonderful seats as well. This is awesome for a football team that hasn't had a football program up until just 5 or 6 years ago. So to get this new stadium and have this new aura set around it, that's what football's all about.
The real view is the view that's behind us, the one that you cannot see. And we are underway here in Armstrong County. Kickoff taken by Grimes at the 21-yard line. Has a lane up the left sideline, and some blockers in front. Grimes in a foot race, and Anthony Grimes is going to return the opening touchdown Her opening kickoff, 79 yards for a touchdown, but there's a flag back at the 37-yard line.
With a kickoff
Oh, goodness.
return. However, there is a flag at the 37-yard line.
Well, what we thought were some good blocks might very well be a holding penalty.
Holding. Receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So the spot of the foul is the 37. The penalty will mark them back to the 27-yard line. And that's where Penn Hills will get underway. Now the big thing, we've seen Penn Hills the last few weeks here, Nicholas. They've had problems with penalties. They seem to correct the penalties, but then it went into holding on to the football.
Yeah, first two runs that Penn Hills attempted last week against Kiski area resulted in fumbles and resulted in turnovers. And that's something that has to be cleaned up. Penalties, holding on to the football, it's all generalized into the fundamentals.
Well, I think if Armstrong gets on the board again, I'm not sure they're going to want to kick it to touchdown Tony Grimes. Kissick will keep it on no, throw it this way. Nice read, too high for Dante Pollard on the near side.
Kissick's pass is incomplete, intended for number 12, Dante Pollard.
Looked like he was going to give it to Howard up the middle, but he put a nice job of pulling it out, but he overthrew Pollard in the flat, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 for the Indians.
Well, the defense wasn't very fooled at all on that play. It looked like the defensive lineman got good pressure, and McKissick might have felt that as he threw that pass, just trying to get it off quickly before getting sacked, and that's what resulted in the incomplete pass.
Thompson to McKissick's left, Howard deep in the pistol. McKissick will throw again on the slant, has Noel Roach across the 40 to the 41-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 40, a pickup of
Noel Roach.
About 13 and a 1st down for the Indians.
11, Noah Cooper. That's good for a Penn Hills.
That's nearly the same play, just a different route and a completed pass.
High snap. Indians keep it on the ground. Howard left side dives ahead for 4.
Jamar Howard with the carry. Tackled by Justin Wagaman.
It looks like Penn Hills is running a different offensive, or creating a different offensive formation. I don't remember the last couple of weeks of back being behind Eddie McKissick.
2nd down and 6 for the Indians. We're going to fix Thompson's headgear. The officials reset the play clock up to 25. High snap. McKissick will fall on it back at the 35-yard line. Went right by Howard, who had no idea the ball was coming his way.
Tackled immediately by number 52.
And there was Graham Hepner there, the 6'1" senior, 235 pounds. Off the left side of the line. He's the left defensive end there, number 52, looking on your screen. Came in there immediately, got past the offensive line, and as McKissick picked that ball up, Graham was there to bring him down.
Big loss of 9 on the play. 3rd down, 15 now for the Indians. Another high snap. McKissick keeps it himself on the quarterback draw. McKissick will have a 1st down across the 50 to the 48-yard line, mark him at the 47.
Eddie McKissick,
that's an 18-yard pickup.
Number 20, Aaron Robb.
And Aaron Robb took a hit from McKissick there. Robb, number 20 on Armstrong's defense. McKissick is a powerful quarterback, just trying to hit the defenders and gain that many more yards. That was a great play by McKissick there to keep the ball in his stomach just long enough, in Howard's stomach, and then pull it out and be able to create the fake.
Again, another high snap. McKissick hauls it down, takes it himself. Spins ahead, up for 2. And they'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. Center Luke Pugliese.
McKissick, the ball carrier.
Kind of worked a little too hard in the weight room this week.
2 on the play, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a center. I've never wanted to be a center when I played in high school, and one of the reasons why it's one of the most difficult jobs that you'll see in the football fields. And it takes a lot of skill for the centers to be able to snap the ball.
My son was a center, and he was a long snapper in college. I give them all the credit in the world.
That's incredible.
McKissick over the middle, too high for Pollard, incomplete.
McKissick's pass is incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
So McKissick's now 1 of 3 in the passing game. The incompletions were both higher than the intended receivers were. So this is where Penn Hills has to put together a good passing play here, try to gain yards in that manner, establish the passing game now. It's 3rd and 8. You don't want to give up the ball in the first offensive drive.
McKissick straight drop, looks near side, pass complete. First down for the Indians inside the 35, down to the 33 goes Dante Pollard.
McKissick's pass is complete.
Senior Josh Shaner there on the tackle for Armstrong.
Tackled by number 19, Austin.
And this is where Armstrong very well might struggle. As I said, Penn Hills is a dangerous offense when clean plays are made. And that's a play there where Armstrong needed to make a statement and stop Penn Hills from completing that pass. Now Armstrong is in dangerous opportunity as Penn Hills continues to march down the field with a new set of downs.
Something we haven't seen in the last couple of weeks, Nicholas. Penn Hills doing a sustained drive. Had the ball over 3.5 minutes already here in this opening quarter. Another high snap, McKissick. Nice job to pull it in. Hauls one towards the end zone. Touchdown, Tony Grimes! 33 yards, and Penn Hills strikes first.
Touchdown, Penn Hills.
Grimes was
Eddie
3 steps behind the safety. McKissick put it right where it needed to be, and the Indians strike first.
33-yard touchdown reception.
I'm going to give Armstrong some credit on that play. Graham Hepner got off the ball very nicely, ran hard into the offensive line, and was almost there to make the sack. But then again, Eddie McKissick with a nice, calm throw, didn't let the pressure get to him, and landed the pass for the touchdown.
Silverman's kick. Up and good. 8:22 to go. First quarter. Penn Hills 7, Armstrong nothing. You are watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
And don't forget, coming up at the half, it's the Trib High School Sports Network halftime show. This week, Don Rebel and the Trib's Dr. Chris Harlan hand out the grades for the WPIAL midterm report. Again, coming up at the half.
The purple towels Penn Hills is wearing tonight is honor of assistant coach Steve Bucas and his wife Amy's son Steven. Steven has a
9 plays, 73 yards for the Indians. Grimes on the touchdown reception. Makes up for Grimes' opening kickoff return for a touchdown being called back. He ended up getting the touchdown for the Indians.
The family is very thankful for all the support from our community and their community.
Well, this is where Armstrong right now has to make a statement on offense, create something to get back at Penn Hills and even up the score, because if Penn Hills keeps getting possessions and keeps the offense going like it just did, Armstrong's going to have a tough game.
In the kickoff for Penn Hills.
Silverman, who can boot him into the end zone. We'll kick this one high, and it's looks like the Indians were offsides.
For the kick.
March it back 5 yards and re-kick.
Offside. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty, replay the kick.
Just to note, Penn Hills will be home next week to take on Hampton. The Talbots will be homecoming at Penn Hills.
Hampton's been having a pretty good season so far. 2-2 in conference, 2-3 overall. Good enough for 3rd in the Northern Conference.
Silverman's kick taken at the 20-yard line. Armstrong looking for somewhere to go. Penn Hills does a nice job of covering on the play. 11-yard return for the Hawks. Jesse Hepler.
Jesse Hepler on the return for the Riverhawks.
And Armstrong will start at their own 31.
That was a good attempt by Armstrong there on the kick return. Did what it was supposed to do. There were 5 blockers right around the ball carrier and Hepler. It was just good penetration by Penn Hills to get in there and stop that and break through the blocks.
Shotgun formation. Cole Brown, the quarterback, will sit on the jet sweep. And the Indians are there waiting for Noah Cooper.
Noah Cooper with the carry.
Sakai Featherstone on the tackle there.
Immediately by Sakai Featherstone.
Featherstone was in there off the outside right away. That was good to read that potential sweep, and the outside defenders stopped that nicely.
Loss of 2. And it'll be 2nd down and 12 for the Hawks.
Still 7:45 left to go in this first quarter. Penn Hills already up after the Eddie McKissick pass for the touchdown.
Setting up the screen, the Hawks underneath. Penn Hills is there. They'll get the 2 yards back. Isaac Rittinger holding the screen. Penn Hills was there.
Tackled by Eddie McKissick and Noel Roach.
I mean, that's a great play there by the secondary for Penn Hills.
3rd down and 10.
A fundamental thing taught to high school, or something I was taught, is smell a rat, get to the flat. So either the linemen have to get to the flat, or if the linemen are being blocked, then the secondary's got to stay in that area and just wait for the pass and tackle for a short gain. And that's exactly what Penn Hills did there.
Armstrong will throw. Under pressure, gets the pass away, and the pass almost intercepted. It was too high. It'll bring up a 4th down. I don't know. It looked like Penn Hills got away with a little bit of a push there.
That'll be 4th down.
But nothing was called. And it'll bring up a 4th down for the Riverhawks, who go 3 and out on their opening possession. Clock stops with 6:47 to go here, first period. Penn Hills 7, Armstrong nothing.
You know, Cole Brown's not looking too bad as the quarterback. He's doing a nice job of rolling out and throwing on the run on that play. It just happened to go incomplete.
Penn Hills was all over him. High snap. Go inside to 5. They tried to kick it, but the punter, Brett Menarson, missed.
Off of a high snap, Penn Hills takes over.
I've never seen that before. Usually the punter will just fall on it and make sure that the defensive team doesn't get in there and score the touchdown. But Menarson tried to boot it away anyway, at least get some gain on that play. That was a heck of an effort.
I have seen that. If they could get away and get the kick, they do it with the wherewithal. But here's the thing: when they're running around like that and the defense is rushing him, punter gets the kickoff. If the defense is thinking tackle, they go after the punter. Yeah. They tackle him. It's roughing the punter penalty.
Yeah.
So you really have to be careful of that as well.
Very unique play.
Now, he missed the ball, so he became a runner. McKissick will throw into the end zone behind Snell.
McKissick's pass is incomplete, intended for number 8.
I'll never get over how smooth McKissick is at faking the ball and keeping it. It looks like he's putting the ball in Howard's stomach, but that's a great job by Howard not to clamp down on the ball. And McKissick, nice, easy hands, able to get it in there tight before bringing it back out.
Trust me,
and throwing it.
I'm ready to say Howard with the ball every time. He pulls it out. This time it will be Howard inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. Pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 3.
Jamar Howard, the ball carrier.
It's always an exciting play when a running back gets the ball and he's carrying a good 2 or 3 defenders for an extra 3 to 4 yards.
McKissick on an empty set. Into the end zone. Is it caught? No, it is not. It was intended for Pollard.
McKissick's pass incomplete, intended for Pollard.
They had Jaden Duggar in the slot on the near side. I thought they were going to look at something his way.
4th down and goal.
It's not a formation you see too often, but they're going to bring on Jonas Silverman.
Make sure you get your 50-50.
Try the 22-yard field goal.
You know, I like what Penn Hills is doing this week. I saw a lot of the same formations Penn Hills was running in the past 2 weeks. This time, there's a variation a little bit. You're seeing that L formation in the backfield and mixing that in with some spread formation, trying to make plays happen on the ground and in the air. And Penn Hills is coming out strong in this first quarter.
Silverman's kick, up and good. 5:47 to go, first quarter. Penn Hills 10, Armstrong nothing here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
21-yard field goal attempt is
And don't forget to tune in for This Week in the WPIAL on a new night this fall. Log on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock p.m. as we visit with some of the top WPIAL coaches. Plus, we preview some of the top games from Week 6 of the 2019 WPIAL football season. This week in the WPIAL, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock.
Complete video stream now.
I'm telling you what, Nicholas, I like where this is set up here. We're on the roof of the press box. Great vision. It's a beautiful night. Clearly, if it was raining and crappy out, it'd be a different story. I'm telling you, this is gorgeous up here.
It's 73 degrees, and there's like a rose pink kind of skyline. It's coming where the sunset is, and then there's like a teal sky in the backdrop on one side with all the mountains surrounding us. Just a very natural feel.
It is. Unfortunately, it's all behind us. You can't see that as the river is flowing into the pinkness over there. It's just beautiful up here. Again, this is Penn Hills' first visit to Armstrong Central. High kickoff taken at the 4-yard line. And nice return on the play by Hepler out to the 22. So the miscue on the punt gives Penn Hills 3, and if you're Armstrong, it's not 7.
Yeah, and that is important. It is 2 possessions, but 3 points in a game at a 10-point deficit is a lot more different. Is a lot different than 14 points. So Armstrong still has an opportunity here to come out, put 7 on the board, and get back in this game. But this is where Armstrong's got to capitalize now after struggling on its first 2 possessions.
Brown keeps it himself, will be wrapped up across the 30, picks up about 9.
Cole Brown, the ball carrier.
Brought down by Jawan Brown for Penn Hills. Jawan Brown, a 5'9" junior.
Carry, second down and 1.
And that was a good fake there by Brown as well, the quarterback, Cole Brown, as a matter of fact. Just kind of faked the handoff and then ran the other way, something that Penn Hills easily got fooled on, and that was a nice 9-yard gain for Armstrong on its first play of its 3rd offensive drive.
Jets sweep this way. Armstrong will have a first down. Running with the ball is Isaac Ridinger.
Isaac Ridinger, the ball carrier.
Needed 1, got 2, and the Hawks get their first down of the game.
And that is going to be good for a Riverhawk. First down.
So that's a good play there by Armstrong. It looked like a couple of the pass attempts on its first drive weren't going very well, but on this drive here, the run game has been established now, and Penn Hills, as a defensive unit, has to respond, but Armstrong looking good on the ground right now.
Isaac Ridinger, the ball carrier.
Ridinger stuffed, no gain. Sakai Featherstone with the tackle for Penn Hills, and it'll be second down and 10.
And that time there, Penn Hills adjusted well. The mismatch is there. The one fake handoff to the outside and then the run up the middle didn't work. It was a good play there by Penn Hills and the defensive lineman in Sakai Featherstone.
Brown looks at the sideline for play call. Clock running under 4 minutes to go here in the opening period. 10-0 Penn Hills. Brown with Ridinger to his right. And they'll go jet sweep right. That's Cooper. And the Penn Hills Indians read it nicely. He'll lose a yard.
Tackled by Cameron Hawkins.
And now another 3rd and long for the Riverhawks.
Down and 11.
Okay, Cameron Hopkins with a good tackle there, and that's huge for Penn Hills to get a loss on that play. Now that sets up a 3rd and 11, and Armstrong's got to come up with either a really solid run attempt or a good chunk gaining pass play.
Cole Brown with the carry.
Brown, no gain. And then I'll bring up a 4th and 11. Now the punt team comes back on for Armstrong. And I don't know if you're a punter after that high snap on the last one, you step back another couple yards.
Either that or the easier solution, the center just get the ball to the punter correctly.
And he does this time. Nice kick. 35-yard line. That's Pollard looking for somewhere to go up the middle. Pollard has a lane across the 40. Has the punter to beat inside the 20, the 10, 5. Inside the 5-yard line goes Dante Pollard. They're going to roll him down at the 4. Nice return by Pollard.
And Tony Grime there deserves some credit. Got an initial block all the way back around the 38-yard line for Penn Hills. Created an initial block that gave some space.
Ladies and gentlemen, take a
the Penn Hills return team to run through it. That was a
Riverhawk cheerleaders down there cheering up your Armstrong Riverhawks. We'd like to thank them for coming out tonight, and parents, don't forget, at the 2-minute mark, please make sure you pick up your little cheerleader near the entrance by the scoreboard.
Did he get in? It's Howard to the 1-yard line. And welcome right at the goal line. Wait, one side says touchdown, the other side says
Howard with the carry, tackled by number 39.
At the goal line.
Josh Shaner. Ball spotted at the 1-yard line.
Officials are going to discuss.
Well, the call's reversed. It is going to be.
Crossing the goal line. It'll be second down.
So it is going to be short.
Clock under 2 minutes here in the opening period. Indians up 10, looking to add on to here. Discuss the formation. Thompson is deep, Pollard to McKissick's right. And it's going to be Pollard, and he'll get in for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Penn Hills, number 12.
Interesting to see Dante Pollard in the backfield. He's usually a receiver.
Yeah, did a pretty decent job there. It looked like he almost ran into McKissick, the quarterback. It looked like it was a play that was designed to go up the middle, but Pollard saw defenders, quickly made a move to the right, and he only needed 1 yard to get in, so a play that works there.
Touchdown coming with 1:46 to go. Silverman to try the point after. And the kick is up and through. 1:46 to go. First quarter
is good with
Penn Hills 17.
Quarter number 1.
Armstrong nothing. You're watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Penn Hills.
And don't forget either, 17. Check out the Rebel Yell
Armstrong,
podcast
nothing.
Featuring our own Don Rebel as he talks WPIL football every Monday with new episodes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Saturday. Also follow Don on Twitter at The Don Rebel. The Rebel Yell podcast. New episodes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Armstrong football boosters would like to thank their platinum sponsors, the 700 Shop, 84
Penn Hills
Lumber,
starting field
Armstrong
position on their 3 drives. Their own 27, the Armstrong 7, and the Armstrong 4.
Bank, Scott Hooks Construction, Shellwood Atwood Agency.
Yeah, Armstrong continuing to make many mistakes, playing like the winless and conference team that it is, and Penn Hills is capitalizing on a weak team in the conference right now. Penn Hills looks strong. Penn Hills is looking smooth and clean, and that's what it needed to do.
Silverman's kick high at the 10-yard line. They fake the end around. And a nice return up the sideline for Jesse Hepler. Hepler's behind the defense. Hepler inside the 20, 10, touchdown Armstrong Central.
Jesse Hepler.
90 yards on the return for Hepler, and Armstrong strikes right back.
And that's a play there where the Penn Hills kickoff team got fooled.
88-yard kickoff.
And that's a play where initially you might assume that if Armstrong's going to attempt a fake, that it's going to make that fake happen. But there's a play there. It was simple that Hepler just kept the football. Had to make a fake, had to act a little bit there, but he kept the football in a play that it was a simple play that looked complex, but a simple play there, a great play there by the kick return team to create that fake. Penn Hills got fooled, and that's 6 points on a kickoff, and Armstrong makes a statement here with its first score.
No flags on Armstrong's kick return. And the point is up and through.
An Olsen hold.
Right down the pipe for Adam Huddick.
Point after is good. And
1:32 to go. First quarter. Penn Hills 17. Armstrong 7.
Armstrong.
You're watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Look at those cheerleaders.
Next
go.
Friday and Saturday, conference play continues as the Trib Live High School Sports Network has over 30 WPIAL football games. You can hear and watch all the big games from Week 6 here at tribhssn.triblive.com. Don't forget, it's official. Your one true source for all high school sports is the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Also, don't forget, coming up at the half, it's the Trib High School Sports Network halftime show. This week, Don Rebel and the Trib's doctor, Chris Harlan, hand out the grades for the WPIAL midterm report. That scoreboard is so cool. It's displaying the words "the kickoff" right now on a video board. This is so cool.
It's nice.
When high schools have stadiums like this is awesome.
And they try the onside kick. Penn Hills falls on it at the 48-yard line and a penalty flag. I think the Indians
get out your Mills chiropractic.
They have the opportunity to decline.
Cash ticket.
They consider that a dead ball foul, don't they?
Well, we'll certainly see.
Yeah, they do.
5-yard penalty. Re-kick.
Well, the element of surprise is gone.
Well, there you go.
Between the
But do you do it again? Do you just expect them to do it again? But the only thing is this time I think it has to go 15 yards now, doesn't it?
Oh, no, still only travels
Still
10. Yeah. Travels 10 from the spot of the ball. It's a good play by Armstrong there. I had a bit of a feeling that it would try something. I didn't want to say anything, though, but...
Oh, you can. You're allowed. Yeah, but honestly, you get that feeling like, hey, let's try to get back into it here.
Exactly.
Do kick it away. It's deep. Over the head of Grimes. Will pick it up at the 10-yard line. Pauses for a moment to look for some lanes. Grimes has it across the 30-yard line, and he'll return it out to the 35.
And that's the sign of a guy who is confident in his abilities as a football player. Now, you'd see too many times where a returner might just try to run immediately and try to gain as many yards as possible and act desperate. Now, Grimes on that play, stop for a second. You mentioned that he slowed down. That is a sign of a good, experienced returner to wait for just a second, analyze what's going on, and see where the blocks develop. And that's why that play there went for so many yards. That return went for so many yards.
Akeem Snell deep in the aisle, be joined by Tony Grimes. Interesting formation for the Indians, and it'll be Snell with the ball. Picks up 4.
It is interesting and a sign of versatility when some of the wide receivers are coming in to receive handoffs in the backfield. It's certainly unconventional, but it's been working.
And there's an injured Riverhawk on the field. So a timeout here with 1:05 to go here in the first quarter. There you go. Now we're going to get a shot of that scoreboard there, Nicholas.
Yeah, look how cool that is. I mean, and this is what's awesome as well in terms of a football program coming out and being new. Armstrong's football team was conceived in 2015. It hasn't been around for too long, but I just want to think that if Armstrong didn't get a program, how guys like Zane Dudek wouldn't have had an opportunity to play. Dudek is a 2016 graduate of Armstrong. He was a running back, and he holds the record for most yards gained on the ground in WPIAL history with 2,949 yards in the regular season of 2016.
Wow.
But to think that if this program didn't exist, if it was 2 years too late.
You wonder if if it had been still separate with Ford City and Kittanning, how would he have been able to do the same? But now they have them together. You build a nice facility here because this is they're looking for an identity. As you combine, these were two rivals. Ford City and Kittanning. They were two bitter rivals, and they formed into one district. So they're coming together nicely. Grimes, jet sweep this way. Has some blockers on the outside, cuts it back. Gets some nice blocks. Looks for somewhere to go. Has a lane across the 40. Has some blockers in front. We'll have a first down. And goes out of bounds at the Armstrong Central 48-yard line.
Tony Grimes.
13 yards on the jet sweep for Grimes, and that's a Penn Hills Indian first down.
Grimes is a gutsy guy.
Penn Hills first down.
It's very dangerous to run backwards on a play for obvious reasons, but he found a way to lose that yardage, find space, run around to the opposite side of the field, and gain a substantial amount of yards for Penn Hills. He's been playing well this game so far.
Again, Snell deep. McKissick will throw. Nice job of blocking by Snell to go deep towards Roach, who has it inside the 20, inside the 10, up the sideline. Touchdown, Penn Hills Indians. What an effort by Noel Roach to get that into the end zone, and Penn Hills extends the lead with 37 seconds to go here in quarter number 1.
Touchdown, Penn Hills.
Noah Cooper was the one initially guarding Noel Roach.
48 yards.
And Roach found a way, wasn't moving 100%, then he created space with Cooper, found a way to keep his hands nice and soft, received the ball nicely over the shoulder, found a way to stay on his feet and score, and that's an extraordinary play there, made to look easy by Noel Roach of Penn Hills.
A lot of points in the final minute and a half of this quarter. In the minute 46, I should say.
Jonah Silverman's point after is good with 37 seconds to go in the first quarter. Penn Hills 24.
So the Indians up 24-7. Penn Hills scored on a Dante Pollard run with a minute 46 to go in the first quarter. We've had 2 touchdowns after that. So 3 touchdowns in the last minute and minute 9.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you have good returns and when you have nice plays moving together and when yards are being gained at a rapid pace. Armstrong scored on that kick return, gave him a touchdown, and then Penn Hills, how many plays was that? That wasn't even 5, was it?
That was 3 plays, 65 yards.
Yeah, so that's just about scoring quickly, and when you score quickly, the clock's going to stop. It certainly already feels longer than the last couple of weeks when we had a 14-7 score and a 7-3 score where the clock just kept running because the teams were incessant on using the run game.
Silverman's kickoff high, inside the 10, back to the 4-yard line. They fake the end around again, but the Penn Hills Indians are there waiting. And Armstrong will start at the 10-yard line.
You gotta like the idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's time to actually do the end around.
86 Jesse.
Well, that time Penn Hills had a group of defenders on each side of the field. So one was watching Hepler and the other was watching Feliciano, Sean Feliciano, the other returner there.
Ball at their own 10.
And when that happens, when you go 50-50 on that, one of them is going to have the football, and Penn Hills had a swarm of defenders defenders on the return team to come around and extinguish that before it went anywhere. Don't forget, coming up at the half, it's the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show. Don Rebel and Chris Harlan are going to hand out midterm reports for all the WPIL football teams.
Armstrong goes to the air. Brown out to Ridinger. Ridinger just unable to hold on to it.
Brown's pass is incomplete, intended to Isaac Ridinger. Second down and 10.
First quarter was moving quickly, then all this scoring at the end has slowed it down.
There's also an injury timeout on the far sideline. Well, maybe not an official timeout, but somebody on Penn Hills' team is down on the sideline.
They try to set up the screen. Penn Hills is there to get a paw on it.
Incomplete.
Fortunately for Armstrong, it's incomplete.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was going to any specific receiver. It was just a very poorly executed screen attempt. Still 22 seconds left in the first. Huh.
Quarterback keeper, and it's Tony Grimes getting the hand in to bring Cole Brown down in the backfield.
Carry tripped up by number 1.
We'll lose
Tony
5.
Grimes.
And it'll be fourth down, and we come back for the second quarter. Armstrong's going to be punting from their own end zone.
That'll
do it after one. The score, Penn Hills 24,
play at ESS
Armstrong Central 7 here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Penn Hills Indians 24, your Armstrong Riverhawks 7. Don't forget your ticket stub tonight.
Armstrong just had a tough game, as we talked about. The team that does not have a conference win yet. The only win that Armstrong has this season so far was a win against Indiana High School, Indiana Area High School, back on August the 23rd. That was during week 1. Since then, Armstrong's lost to conference opponent Hampton, lost to Chartiers Valley, which was a non-conference game, and then lost to Mars last week, a team that Penn Hills beat on September the 13th. So it's been a rough go at it for Armstrong, just giving up too many yards on the ground, not playing as a unit for the most part. There have only been a few bright spots so far for Armstrong, but Penn Hills appears to be the undefeated state champion football team that it was last year.
Bauer Company Incorporated and Walker Motor Company. Also our silver sponsor, Bench Racers. If you would take your ticket, game stub, any game stub, down to Bench Racers, you can get $2 off a 2-topping pizza. Thank you to our silver sponsors, Bench Racers.
Menarson back at his own end zone. Gets a snap. Gets the kick away. Near side to Grimes at the 43. Shake and bake, goes right side, looking for some blocks. Inside to 30 goes Grimes, inside to 20, 10-5, touchdown Tony Grimes.
Touchdown,
no flags.
Tony Grimes
and Penn Hills strikes.
Punt return for a touchdown.
On the punt return.
Well, touchdown Tony's out tonight, isn't he? Tony Grimes has been having a really good game, both returning the ball and on a couple receiving plays that he had. And that was a poor job by Josh Shaner, who was the first man there. Shaner turned his head, and Grimes did the simple 1-2 step. He took 2 steps to the left and immediately moved to the right, and Shaner was immediately fooled, and then Grimes had so much more space.
Silverman's point after is good. With 11:45 to go in the second quarter, Penn Hills 31, Riverhawks 7.
Don't forget, next Friday and Saturday, conference play continues as the Trib Live High School Sports Network has over 30 WPIAL football games. You can hear and watch all the big games from Week 6 here at tribhssn.triblive.com.
Sons of Katanning, Sprinkles, Neighborhood Market.
Your one true source for all high school sports is the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Thank our two-a-day sponsors, the 700 Shop, Crystal's Cafe, Dairy Queen, Falsetti's Villa, Fox's Pizza Den, and Garda's Restaurant.
Well, for any baseball fans out there, Mets first baseman Pete Alonso has tied Aaron Judge for the single-season rookie home run record. Big story in sports.
The balls are juiced.
Do you believe that? No?
I don't know.
Hawks Nest would like to thank Bugsy's Pizza.
Well, the Minnesota Twins have over 300 home runs as a team this season.
Yes, they're juiced.
180 South Jefferson.
Either that or there's a lot of Andro 400 going around.
Oh, goodness.
Delivery within a 6-mile radius.
And Silverman's kick goes into the end zone. Armstrong will start at their own 20-yard line.
Touchback.
Again, that was two kick returns for Grimes tonight. One was called back for the penalty on the opening kickoff. He also has another reception for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So
his feet just look soft and cool. Like I talked about, the defender for Armstrong who got there first, Josh Shaner, turned his head, and Grimes just stayed simple and soft. He looked like he was playing Dance Dance Revolution, or he was just doing the salsa, moved 2 steps left and then took off to the right, and Shaner was immediately fooled.
toss this way, Ridinger. Penalty flags come in from everywhere.
Ridinger, the ball carrier, tackled by number 20.
This one may not count at all.
Flag on the play.
Well, as soon as the ball was handed off, that's when the flag came out.
That was a flag on the far side, a flag on the near side, in the secondary.
They were not thrown simultaneously.
No, they were not. That's why I said this one may not count, depending on what the calls are. Dylan Bennett looking at the official like, what?
Fouls on the play. Illegal shift.
Yep, this one won't count.
Personal foul. Walking out of bounds. But those penalties were offset. Replay first down.
Only thing that happened, we lost a few seconds.
Right. Offsetting penalties there.
They'll fake the toss to Ridinger, keep it on the ground near side, and going backwards is James Bradley.
James Bradley with the carry.
Cameron Hopkins on the tackle for Penn Hills.
They'll lose two.
I got to admire Armstrong's attempt at trickery in this game. It's just been the one kick return worked for Armstrong. That's the cause its only score, but I mean, this is Armstrong's doing its best to throw off the Penn Hills defense, but Penn Hills, ever since Armstrong's first offensive drive, has caught on to Armstrong's trickery and has stopped any of those plays from developing.
Pass near side, almost picked off by Roach.
The jackpot
pass high.
Here they are coming down through, Randy and Earl.
Dangerous one there.
Randy has 2 strips of tickets left.
And it brings up another 3rd and
16
long
years of service
for the Hawks.
Trying to get rid of 2 strips of tickets.
Well, this is nearly do or die for Armstrong. It's either convert this play here or just accept that Penn Hills has dominated this one. And
take the Ridinger pass, picked off by the Indians. Touchdown, Tony Grimes. 24 yards.
Penn Hills, number 1, Tony Grimes, intercepted.
And penalty flags come in. That'll be after the play.
Interception, return for a touchdown.
Grimes is having a great game. There's nothing more to say. The ball's somehow always in his hands on both sides of the ball, and he's scored a bunch of times now.
Unsportsmanlike conduct in the scoring team. Foul in the first. Coach. Forced on the kickoff.
So unsportsmanlike conduct on Penn Hills will result in yardage being taken away on the kickoff for Penn Hills. So Armstrong gets a few yards on the next kickoff.
Silverman's
point after is up and good. 10:43 to go. First half. Penn Hills 38. Armstrong 7 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Don't forget, coming up at the half, it's the Trib HSSN halftime show. This week, Don Rebel and the Trib's doctor, Chris Harlan, hand out the grades for the WPIL midterm report because we're about halfway through the season now. So don't forget, at the half, it's Don Rebel and Chris Harlan. There's also an observation I've noticed about high school sports, in particular football. Penn Hills fans, and I saw some parents animated after that penalty marker was thrown. It baffles me how parents can get into such a game that high schoolers are playing. It baffles me, but it excites me to some extent. Not the crazy parents, but the ones who get animated and boo and jeer during these football games.
As long as they keep it clean.
Yeah, absolutely. But with an atmosphere like this stadium, I wouldn't expect anything less.
This is nice.
It feels professional. And that's what's awesome.
Look at the goalposts. I mean, they're nice bright yellow goalposts.
The wind markers as well. It's awesome that high schoolers can have this experience in some areas.
Silverman, boomy kickoff by Silverman, taken back at the 13-yard line. Armstrong with a nice return across the 35. Out to the 37-yard line is Hepler, who has the 90-yarder earlier in this game.
Tackled by Justin Posey.
This game continues to drag along. Just about 10.5 minutes left, and it's a 31-point game that Penn Hills is on top of. Penn Hills, if it continues to stay sharp, it should be an easy win. At the same time, Armstrong could experiment with some new plays, try to make something happen, and learn for the week coming ahead.
Keeps it himself, throws right side. Nifty play call by the Armstrong Riverhawks. They'll have a first down. Brown faked to Reidinger and got it out to Cooper.
Complete to Noah Cooper. Tackled by Justin Posey, and that's going to be good for a Riverhawk.
It's an 18-yard pickup and a first down for the Hawks. A little excitement on the Riverhawk side now.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, this is what you want to do as a football team down by a lot. I mean, the only thing that Armstrong has here is time. Run some plays, try something, because the deficit's already 31. Trying new things isn't necessarily going to hurt the team at this point.
Reidinger left side comes in. Penalty flag comes thrown in on top of the play.
Isaac Reidinger, the ball carrier.
It was Keith Pellman with the tackle. I have a feeling he may be called for a face mask.
There's a flag on the play.
Actually lost 2.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Well, face mask is certainly a dangerous play, as we know. The head of anybody carrying the ball is susceptible to moving the whole body when it's tugged on, and also that sometimes leads to neck issues or to head issues, something that is should be avoided.
Reidinger just goes into the pile.
Isaac
the scrum
Reidinger,
goes to the 29-yard line, picks up
Jamie
3.
Tigner. Gain of 3 on the play, second down and 7.
I must say, I'm enjoying seeing running plays.
Why? Because it takes time off the clock, yeah. Yeah, the first half did have or the first quarter, I should say, had a healthy dose of passing plays.
Cooper in motion right to left. They fake the jet sweep, and it's Brown this way, a yard back to the 30-yard line.
Cole Brown with the carry, tackled by Donovan Carpenter.
It'll be 3rd and 8 for the Hawks. Clock will roll under 9 minutes to go here in the first half.
3rd down and 8.
You know, just think, with the Indians up 38-7, if they're able to keep the Hawks off the board and get on the board themselves, they'll go into the halftime coming out with a possible running clock in the second half, and Penn Hills jumps offside.
Offside. Defense. Penalty. Your 3rd down.
Well, Penn Hills, to its credit, that's the first time
3rd down and 3
that Penn Hills
Riverhawks
has jumped off sides all game, as opposed to a couple weeks ago when it jumped off sides 5 times. Penalties have been coming at a premium for Penn Hills, and that's a good thing.
Well, instead of 3rd and 8, it's now 3rd and 3. Changes a little bit of dynamics here on the Armstrong play call. High snap, Brown keeps it himself. It'll be stuffed by the Indians for no gain. And if you're Armstrong, I think you have no choice but to go for it. Be a 42-yard field goal, and you're definitely not going to punt it.
Well, there certainly always is a choice. Be that as it may, Armstrong, the whole point of this is to, like I said, get reps, take some risks, make some things happen, and just see what could develop. And learn from that as this game goes on. So going for it here would be more of a benefit than punting it inside the 25.
I mean, even if you try a field goal and miss it, they move the ball to the 20.
Right.
Brown, low snap, has a man. Oh, and he overthrew Redinger in the flat. He was there. It would have been a first down for the Hawks. They'll turn it over to the Indians with 7:38 to go here in the first half.
It'll be a turnover on downs. First down and 10 Indians.
Penn Hills will take over at the 25. I mean, if you have the ball at the 35, 30-yard line, try a field goal. If you miss it, then you still mark them off at the 20-yard line. If you have 4th and long or something, you know?
Well, 3 points in a 31-point game.
Well, I didn't tell them to try the field goal at that point. You're clearly down 31 points. They're going for, they need 7s. They don't lose 3s. But just an interesting rule that no matter where you try the field goal from, if you miss, the ball gets spotted on the 20. Howard, right side, has a lane into the secondary. We'll have a first down. He picks up 12.
Ran straight over Armstrong's defender,
Howard,
Aaron Robb.
Tackled by number 20, Aaron Robb. That's good for Penn Hills.
Howard is an aggressive running back, and that is something that isn't taught. I mean, you can teach a running back to stay low and run through the holes, but it takes a bit of a sixth sense to be able to run over defenders like that and stay aggressive.
Penn Hills keeps it on the ground again and again into the secondary. This time it's Arlen Thompson.
Arlen Thompson, the ball carrier.
Aaron Robb got hit again. Aaron Robb
looks
like he's playing safety, and he's been in on those last 2 plays just getting hit hard, and that either means the defensive line isn't doing its job or the linebackers are getting blocked up the middle. So Robb's got to come in there and make a last attempt to prevent that play from breaking big.
Thompson again runs into his own man. Ran right into Luke Pugliese. Pugliese takes up a lot of space. He's huge.
Arlen Thompson with the carry. Tackled by Nick Parisi and Josh Shaner. Second down and 10.
Clock running, under 6.5 to go here, second quarter. Penn Hills 38, Armstrong 7. Ball through McKissick's hands, and he falls on it. No, they're going to say Armstrong came up with it. Pair of number 2s. McKissick couldn't handle the snap.
Cole Brown. It will be Armstrong football.
Well, that's something that worries me about Penn Hills. I mean, Penn Hills against a team like Armstrong, after winning the state championship in football, should be expected to play flawless football against a team that's winless in the conference this year. But there are a couple of these mistakes that Penn Hills has been making that another team like North Hills or Hampton could capitalize on.
Yeah, the snap went right through his hands. I'm not sure if he had anticipated it or not.
But I mean, those are plays that Mars capitalized on and almost won a couple weeks ago. Those are plays that Kiski area capitalized on and almost was able to overcome last week. And Penn Hills against a better team, that's the only thing that worries me about this team in this game. Plays
Brown,
like that.
over the middle, it's picked off by Noel Roach. Oh my, Roach up the sideline across the 40, the 30, has a man behind him, cuts to the near side. Roach 5. Touchdown, Penn Hills, 78 yards.
Touchdown, Penn Hills, Noel Roach. A 76-yard interception. Return for a touchdown.
And there's an injured Riverhawk back at the 22-yard line at the area of the interception. James Bradley.
I don't know who's having a better game, Noel Roach or Tony Grimes. Both of these guys have one interception return for a touchdown, and they've been playing solid as receivers and have been playing, well, Grimes at the very least has been playing solid on returns. I don't think Noel Roach has had any spectacular returns on a punt or a kickoff. And coming up at halftime, it's the Trib High School Sports Network halftime show. This week, Don Rebel and the Trib's doctor, Chris Harlan, hand out the grades for the WPIAL midterm report. We're almost halfway through this high school football season in the Western Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic League. Man, that was a mouthful to say. I've never spelled out WPIAL like the actual words, but man, that's why we stick it to WPIAL.
That's why. Instead
of Western Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic League. It's a lot of syllables. Man.
Injured Riverhawk Bradley walks off the field, thankfully. He looked serious there for a moment.
So now it's 44-7. Penn Hills in the lead, under 6 minutes left in the second quarter. This game's certainly dragging on a lot more, at least perceptionally, than it did the last couple weeks against Mars and against Kiski area. But Penn Hills has certainly dominated a team who has been weak in the 29 year.
Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Continue to try.
Armstrong called with an illegal substitution to make matters a bit worse. So Silverman moves to the 10.
Penn Hills need not go for two. High snap. Silverman on the delay gets the kick up. Nice job by Silverman. Looked like he was shooting the fire, but Grimes got the kick down, or the hold down, and Grimes was able to set back up and get the kick through. 5:59 to go in the half. Penn Hills 45, Armstrong 7 here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. If Armstrong does not get on the board before this half expires, we'll have a running clock in half number 2.
Yeah, and that's sometimes that can be a factor in a game, but in most cases, the mercy rule clock is well earned. Armstrong had a good first drive, still gave up possession. Penn Hills has capitalized on nearly every opportunity that it had, and this game is very representative of where the standings are right now.
Interesting score out of Westmoreland County.
Hit me with it.
Penn Trafford and Plum squaring up over there. Penn Trafford, leader in that conference over there. Plum with one conference win.
Right.
After one. 7-0 in that game. Penn Trafford, but it's only 7-0.
Winning 50-50.
How much time did you say was left?
End of one.
Wow.
9-4-8.
Mustangs coming on here.
9-4-8, 2-2-4. Please report to the press box to claim your prize. It's up on the video board.
Silverman's kick high, short, taken at the 19-yard line. And the ball comes out. Are they going to roll it a fumble? Yes, they are. Oh, goodness. When it rains, it pours for Armstrong.
Fumbles recovered by number 24, Sutherland Pearson.
I mean, and that's a tough play there for a returner. It was Josh Shaner who was the attempted returner on that play, and it's rare when you see somebody get flipped upside down, but that hit was low by the Penn Hills return team, and the ball just came out.
High snap. Nice job on McKissick to get it in. But Howard inside the 20, up the sideline, 10-5, touchdown Penn Hills.
Jamar Howard with a 30-yard touchdown run for Penn Hills.
Is it really this simple? I don't know. Penn Hills is making these plays look very simple now. I mean, Grimes has been returning the ball well on special teams. Noel Roach has been in there with a reception that he executed perfectly off of a nice pass by Eddie McKissick earlier in the game, and then Howard found some holes as if it were effortless. Penn Hills certainly on the attack now, and Penn Hills playing football that is playing football very well right now. 52-7 is the score. Penn Hills leading.
52.
Oh, my goodness.
7.
Hey, don't forget, next Friday and Saturday, conference play continues as the Trib Live High School Sports Network has over 30 WPIAL football games that you can hear and watch. All the big games from Week 6 are here at tribhssn.triblive.com. Trib Live High School Sports Network, your one true source for all high school sports. And don't forget as well, the Trib Live High School Sports Network is the official home for all WPIAL football games that are happening through all conferences, 1 through 6. Or classes, all classes 1 through 6.
Well, now here's where Armstrong tests its mettle. I mean, they're down 45 here in the first half. Now, they quit, or are they still going to play?
Well, there's always some value in playing, and like I said,
absolutely.
experimenting. Taking risks is important because you kind of learn a play that you haven't run yet might work out, and you use it next week. It's all about just playing to learn and to gain experience at this point, which can be beneficial for future games.
Hepler from the 7-yard line. Nice hole up the middle for Hepler, and he gets brought down. Touchdown saving tackle, I believe, at the 35-yard line.
Return. Tackle by Jawan Jones.
Jawan Jones with the tackle for the Indians. And an injured Riverhawk on the field. It's Hepler. Hepler, who has the touchdown tonight for the Riverhawks, the 90-yard kickoff return.
Penn Hills is a team that hits hard on defense, and that's important in football. And sometimes when you have a weaker team in Armstrong, just trying to get by with running the ball, holding on to it, sometimes a team like that's going to be forced to absorb more hits. But when you have an aggressive team like Penn Hills facing a more cautious team in Armstrong, sometimes you'll see these plays happen where the weaker team comes out and gets injured. Armstrong's had 4 injuries now, 4 stoppages in play due to injuries, and it's unfortunate. You never want health to affect the team in any manner, regardless of what the score is in a game.
Nice to see Hepler getting up and walking off. Again, he's been one of the few bright spots tonight for Armstrong.
Yeah, there's only so much more hurt that you can give a team other than having players out due to injury, and since he's a bright spot in a deficit like this, in a 45-point deficit, I don't think it would be wise to continue to push a player who could be effective in further weeks. You got to be safe. You got to take risks, but at the same time, you got to be safe in games like this.
It's not that Armstrong has played poorly here in this half. It's just that Penn Hills is coming to this game, and they've been playing angry, like they're PO'd because they haven't played well in the last few weeks, and it's kind of like they're coming out to make a statement.
Certainly possible.
Brown stacked up at the line.
Cole Brown, tackled by number 11, Scott Featherstone. No gain on the play.
Armstrong doesn't really seem to be in any hurry here. They might be trying to chew clock. Brown pitch. Rittinger loses the handle on the football. Does a nice job to get across the 40-yard line. Picks up 6.
Isaac Rittinger tackled by James Tigner.
And sometimes it's a dangerous play. When you fumble the football, sometimes your focus has to be on picking the football back up, but sometimes on a play like that, where you're so close to the line on an attempted pitch, sometimes you got to worry about taking a hard hit too, and sometimes it's a decision between, are you going to protect yourself or are you going to protect the football? In that case, Rittinger did a nice job of staying with the football, staying on his feet, and gaining yards on a play that was destined to go nowhere.
Penn Hills jumps off sides.
Results in a first down.
Will give Armstrong a first down.
First down, Armstrong.
And at this point, that's Penn Hills just trying to be more aggressive in a game that's lopsided, something that hasn't affected this team to the degree that it did in previous weeks. Only 2 offsides penalties so far this game for Penn Hills.
Brown pitch, Rittinger this side has a lane across the 50. Gets in Penn Hills territory. Down up to the 47-yard line. 7 yards for
Riding
Rittinger.
with the ball carrier, tackled by number 12, Dante Pollard. Gain of 7 on the play, second down and 3.
Just about 4 minutes left in this one in the second quarter. It's 52-7, Penn Hills leading Armstrong.
Brown keeps it himself, gets wrapped up and brought down. Not fooled on the play was Jamie Tigner.
Tackled by Jamie Tigner. Short gain. Third down.
Oh, no gain, 3rd and 3. Clock 3:15 in running here, second quarter. Penn Hills 52, Armstrong 7. Brown, quarterback draw. We'll have the first down at the 42-yard line.
Cole Brown, tackled by number 20, Jawan Brown. That's going to be good for a Riverhawk. First down.
Yeah, sometimes I find it interesting. I grew up in a high school at Keystone Oaks where the passing game was very essential. And in these last 3 games, I've just seen a lot of teams experiment with the run over and over again.
Brown, nice job on the play fake. Everybody was looking at Josh Shaner. Brown kept it himself.
Cole Brown.
Nonetheless, it was held for no gain. The Indians' defensive front
No gain.
held. And it'll be second down and 10. Now, meanwhile, I come from back in the day where passing the football was maybe 3-4 times a season.
Really?
Throw the ball? Come on. It was run, run, run. Shaner does get the ball this time. Picks up 8.
Josh Shaner, the ball carrier, tackled by Jamie Tigner.
So even on a situation like
Third down
second and
and 2
long or
for
third and long,
Riverhawks.
you'd still see a run.
Oh, yeah.
See, I don't understand that.
That's old-time football. Oh, yeah, wide receivers were the loneliest people on the field.
I can imagine just having a blocking assignments all game.
Ridinger lowers the shoulder, dives, forces his way ahead. We'll have the first down. I'll tell you what, the Ridinger's a tough runner.
Ridinger with the carry, tackled by Cameron Hopkins. That's going to be good for another Riverhawk. First down.
Well, this might be a time, too, where Penn Hills isn't trying anything too special in defense, just trying to play cautiously, preserve against the run, maybe look for a pass, but not being as aggressive as it might be in a tighter game.
Ridinger tossed near side, brought down.
Isaac Ridinger
Keith
with the
Pellman.
carry. Tackled by Keith Pellman.
Keith Pellman on the tackle.
I mean,
Second down.
we're going to be going rolling under 30 seconds here to go in the half. You would think Armstrong may be trying to get in the end zone here before the half. Even if they do, I mean, it's still going to be enough of a lead that Penn Hills is going to have a running clock in the second half. Throw left side, a little too far for Noah Cooper.
Cole Brown's pass is incomplete, intended for Noah Cooper.
So it'll be 3rd and 10.
Third down.
Well, at the same time, the running game is typically always safe. in terms of how teams may be playing cautiously. Here, Armstrong might be trying to avoid any hard or aggressive plays that Penn Hills might create on defense. Just try to hand the ball off, not risk it being in the air, and gain yards that way. I mean, that's also a philosophy here. Risk-taking is one. We were playing cautious and staying safe is another. It's all about what a team believes is going to make it better.
Brown wants to set up the screen to Rittinger. There it is. Rittinger inside the 20, inside the 15. It'll be first down. Riverhawks at the 14-yard line with 10 seconds.
Pass complete to Isaac Rittinger
to go here in the half.
Roach. That's going to be good for a Riverhawk.
I think if you're Armstrong, call a timeout. I believe they do. Yeah, they do. So now you got a chance for 2 plays into the end zone. And they still have 2 timeouts after. So if they throw something quick underneath, you can call a timeout and get another play.
Yeah, there's still 2 timeouts left for this team. Penn Hills doesn't use any timeouts. Not that it will, but just as a note. But even if Armstrong scores a touchdown here, it's still going to be over 35, and the running clock's going to be present in half number 2. But Armstrong's scoring here could be important. I mean, again, running plays, taking those risks is important. I mean, that was a great orchestrated play there. That was the first screen that worked in 3 attempts for Armstrong. But again, Armstrong, if it can continue to push the envelope a little bit, take small victories away from this game, it could very well benefit it come next week. Cole Brown in the pocket, throw toward the end zone.
And just a little too far on the inside. Nice coverage. Pass. 6 seconds left, and might be able to get 2 plays off.
Second down and 10.
So an update on that Plum score. It's now 14-3 Penn Trafford. Mustangs holding their own out there in Harrison City.
Oh, the cheerleaders are throwing T-shirts down on the near sideline. I've never seen that before at a high school game.
I doubt they'll make one up here.
Ooh.
Brown gets sacked, loses the football, but the half will expire.
There was zeros on the clock. That's the end of the first half.
So that'll do it. It's halftime. The score, Penn Hills 52, Armstrong 7. You're watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
And here at halftime, it's going to be the Trib Live High School Sports Network halftime show. Don Rebel and Chris Harlan will hand out grades for the WPIAL midterm report.
Well, thoughts on the first half there, Nicholas?
Well, I talked about how Armstrong has had a tough year defending running plays. Over 1,000 yards Armstrong has given up this season so far, 1,136 to be exact, through 4 games. That's just simply put not good enough for a team to have that many yards given up on the ground, and that's not even including the passing game of opponents factored in there. But Penn Hills, I talked about how Penn Hills can keep a clean game going and can execute its plays like the state champions that they are, that it would come out on top of a team that's winless in conference so far this year. Armstrong's just not a strong enough team, and that was representative in the first half. A team that's still got a lot of building up to do and experience to gain, and just there's got to be issues fixed from this Armstrong team, and Penn Hills has capitalized on a weaker opponent in this one through one half.
Well, the game started off. Tony Grimes returned a kickoff, 79 yards for a touchdown. It got called back for a hold. But the Indians went on a scoring drive where McKissick hit Grimes on a 33-yard pass. Indians up 7-0. Armstrong on their opening possession. They go 3 and out, but they snap the punt over the punter's head. Penn Hills gets the ball at the 7-yard line. Only come away with a field goal. It was 10-0. Dante Pollard, a 1-yard run, makes it 17-0 Indians. And then Hepler for Armstrong, a 90-yard kickoff return on a nifty play. It's 17-7 Penn Hills, but then Penn Hills just explodes. McKissick to Roach, 48 yards. And then Tony Grimes, his second touchdown, a 43-yard punt return. And then Grimes for the hat trick, a 24-yard interception return. Noel Roach, also an interception return. And then Jamar Howard, a 30-yard run. It's 52-7 here at the half. Penn Hills over Armstrong. Running clock in the second half, so.
I mean, there's nothing in this game that I didn't expect. I mean, I thought Penn Hills has been playing weaker than it did last year after the 16-0 state championship run. The team's clearly not the same. We saw against Mars, the score was 14-7. We saw against Kiski area, the score was 7-3 against the Kiski area team that's finished in the bottom half of the Northern Conference last year and is toward the bottom this year. But at the same time, Armstrong has had its own struggles from year to year ever since 2016. The last time it made I can't say the last time it made playoffs. The last time it finished over 500. There's just been a lot of struggles over the last 2 seasons that have just made it a weak football team. And Penn Hills is a good enough team, has been a good enough team to capitalize and to dominate a team like Armstrong that's winless so far in conference.
Armstrong, the wild card team in the playoffs last year. It's got a long road to hoe there if they're going to try to make it back into the playoffs again this center. Again, 52-7, Penn Hills here at the half. Enjoy the marching bands. We'll be back for second half action here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
The next song reached number 7 on the charts in 1987. It's not the theme song to Discovery Channel's deadliest sketch TV show. Enjoy our visual ensemble in a quintet by Dominic Frollo, Owen Templer, Gabby Bergovich, Madison Gentricor, and Ethan Eisel. Here is Wanted, Dead or Alive. Finally, no tribute to Bon Jovi can be complete without hearing the band's signature song. They reached #1 in 1987, going down a blaze of glory. It's time to hold on to what you've got, because we're halfway there. Here's Living on a Prayer. Let's make some noise once again for the pride of Penn Hills, the Penn Hills Big Red Marching Band. The band is led by Tiffany Szynski. Assistant directors are Lauren Fitzroy and David Stevens. Visual ensemble instructor is Olivia Kanowski. Rhythm instructor is Dina Perlick. Percussion instructor is Dave Kirby. Visual ensemble captains are Destiny Makonda and Rihanna Bumbao. This is the voice of the band, Eric Cooper, saying thank you so much for your attention and support this evening. As Bon Jovi would say, have a nice day. And coming up next, it's time for the Rock and River Hawks on behalf of your Armstrong Marching Band. Thank you so much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2019 Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band Halftime Show. Tonight, for your listening and viewing pleasure, the Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band will be performing for you this year's halftime show, Rockin' Love, featuring Are You Feeling Notes of Tonight, with solos from senior trumpet player Liam McElwain and senior trombone player Alex Sedora, Love Drum, I Love Rock and Roll, and Can't Help Falling in Love, under the student leadership of drum majors Emily Matthews and Josie Peak. Now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show as the Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band appears to be ready for their halftime performance. Drum majors Emily Matthews and Josie Peak, is your band ready? Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band, the field is yours for performance. No need to feel lonesome tonight after that one. Up next for you, we have the upbeat and fast-paced 2009 pop classic, Love Drunk by Boys Like Girls. Please feel free to clap, sing, and dance along as we continue our rock and love theme this evening as we feature our garden drumline with a classic rock and roll song that everyone knows and loves. It was made famous in 1982 from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts with I Love Rock and Roll. Before we close our halftime show this evening, the Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band would like to take this time to thank our junior high band students from 7th and 8th grade and participating in our pregame performance this evening and up in the stands. We hope you had a blast this evening, and we are looking forward to seeing you here in a couple of years performing at ESS next year Athletic Complex. Now, to complete our rock and love theme this evening, the Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band closes its halftime show with Elvis Presley's 1961 hit, Can't Help Falling in Love. and gentlemen, the 2019 Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band. The Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band like to wish the Penn Hills Indians Marching Band the best of luck on the remainder of their season. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, the Armstrong Riverhawks Marching Band like to thank you for your kind attentiveness this evening.
Please put 3 minutes on the game clock.
I'm glad I don't have to do that once.
Don't forget tonight's game is being broadcast live by Sample Sports. Visit samplesports.com to see a complete video stream now. Speaking of Sample Sports, if you turn around and look up at the press box, the Riverhawk Nest, we have some free shirts coming out, courtesy of Sample Sports and Joe Rhodes. So look up towards the nest. Here's some shirts. Thank you to Sample Sports. Heads up, like Steve Blass, thrown out of the booth. T-shirts from Sample Sports. Don't forget to log on now. Text your friends and family at home. All right, thank you. That is it for tonight for the T-shirt toss, the inverted T-shirt toss. Also, tonight's game is also on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. You can listen to the game anytime you want on your computer or your phone by clicking on TribHSSN. TribLive.com, the exclusive home for the 2019 WPIAL Football Playoffs, is the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Let's go. I did my job today. Handed that to the PA.
Away at Armstrong Central High School with the score Penn Hills 52, Armstrong Central 7. All Penn Hills in this one. Nicholas Callis, the Indians 24 points in the first quarter, 28 in the second. Armstrong had a 90-yard kickoff return. It's been all Penn Hills.
Yeah, Penn Hills coming out strong, at least patching up the mistakes that it's made in this one. Only 2 offsides penalties to this point. No fumbles, or fumbles recovered on Armstrong's side, so Penn Hills has been clean keeping the football, and it's been straightforward. You've got the last place team of 8 teams in the Northern Conference in Armstrong, 0-2 in conference to this point, and then Penn Hills, undefeated in conference, in second place in the Northern Conference, just behind North Hills, who is undefeated overall. But that's it. They're both tied for the first spot if we're talking about conference wins. North Hills and Penn Hills are.
Interesting stat in this game. Offensive plays, Armstrong 35, Penn Hills 22.
Really?
22. Net yards, total net yards offensively, Armstrong 34, Penn Hills 191. Well, Indians have a couple of interception returns and a punt return. They got 21 points off turnovers. They also have, direct points.
Yeah.
They also had drives set up at the 4 and 7 yard lines. There's another 10 points. So there's 31 points, and you've gained offensively 11 yards. Not even.
No, that is true. And speaking of scoring on defense, I completely forgot. Penn Hills scored on defense. That slipped my mind, but Penn Hills has been scoring on both sides of the ball and on special teams, for that matter. Penn Hills has just been dominant. You've had Tony Grimes, Noel Roach as receivers and as returners. Jamar Howard ran one in. It's been Penn Hills all the way, and Armstrong is playing like it's the last place team in the league right now, or in the conference, I should say.
Silvermoon will kick off. We will have a running clock here in the second half. Kickoff taken at the 10-yard line. Hepler with a nice return across the 35. Ball comes out. They're going to say he was down.
Sean Feliciano on the return.
In fact, it was not Hepler. Hepler got injured in the first half. I thought it was nice to see him come back in. That was Sean Feliciano. Leading rusher for the Indians in the first half was Jamar Howard, 5 carries, 53 yards. Isaac Rittinger for Armstrong, 8 carries and 20 yards. Eddie McKissick was 4 of 8, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half. Cole Brown was 3 of 12 with 2 interceptions, 36 yards. And those 2 interceptions went for 14 points. Brown takes a low snap. Rittinger comes this way. Wrapped up and brought down in the backfield.
Isaac Rittinger, the ball
Nice
carrier.
defensive play by Donovan Carpenter.
Tackled by Donovan Carpenter. Loss on the play. Second down.
He'll lose about 7 yards.
And Armstrong continuing to keep the ball on the ground. Haven't seen too many pass attacks from this Armstrong team.
Brown sets up the pay underneath and batted down, almost intercepted by Jamie Tigner.
Batted down by Jamie Tigner. Third down.
They're going to play 3rd and 17.
And don't forget, with the running clock rule, the mercy rule clock in WPIL football, so it's whenever a 35-point deficit or more is the difference in the game, then the clock just continues to run unless a timeout is called.
Rittinger drives ahead for a couple. It'll bring up a 4th down. I think you'll see Penn Hills using up all 40 seconds of the play clock as much as they can.
4th down.
Where they saw off any plays just to try to keep everything moving as well. A lot of guys are out in their jerseys, but without pads. You won't see the likes of Tony Grimes in the second half here. Line drive kick. Picked up at the 28-yard line, out of bounds. Oh, they did not rule him out of bounds. Oh, there they are. Deshaun Smith. The official just stood there and didn't blow the whistle, raise you, nothing.
Yeah, Noah Cooper, number 11 on your screen, was down on the sideline.
Steps out of bounds at the
giving the side judge a hard time. That's a play where you don't want officiating to affect a game that's already not going in your favor. And Armstrong.
I mean, we called him stepped out of bounds.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And you saw it on the video board here or on our video stream. It's clear as day. Penn Hills expects some run plays. Don't expect too much aggression. This is a game where neither the winning team nor the losing team of a lopsided score kind of wants to be out there. So this is all about running down the clock, keeping players safe, and not pushing anything or risking injury or anything like that.
Penn Hills keeps it on the ground naturally.
Arlen
Thompson will get out to the
Brown.
About the 39-yard line.
2nd down and 1.
9-yard pickup, 2nd down and 1. Thompson again, hit in the backfield, gets out of it, dives ahead for the 1st down.
Arlen Thompson to carry, tackled by Cole Brown. That's good for Penn Hills 1st down.
So in all likelihood, Penn Hills may come out with another win here, and Armstrong going to be hit with with another loss and remain undefeated or remain defeated in conference, remain winless. Next week, Armstrong is going to play Shaler. Shaler around the middle of the conference this year. Shaler is in 5th place with a 1-1 conference record and a 2-3 overall, just behind Mars High School.
They call the Indians for movement.
Time to play. False start.
And Penn Hills next week has Hampton, who is losing tonight to Kiski.
That's shocking. Kiski came out strong against Penn Hills. 7-3 win for Penn Hills last week against Kiski area, but Kiski area played a strong game, especially after finishing 6th last year with a 2-5 conference record. Came out playing well. Kiski area this year in 6th place of 8 with a 1-3 conference record, 2-3 overall.
About Central Catholic up 20-0 on Pine Richland. Indians lose the football. Eddie McKissick comes diving in. Did he come up with it, or is it Armstrong's ball? Armstrong has it at the 35-yard line.
Fumble in the play. Recovered by number 19, Austin Patton. It's going to be Armstrong football.
Speaking of Hampton, though, as Penn Hills
10.
is facing Hampton next week. Hampton is the 3rd place team in the Northern Conference in 5A with a 2-2 conference record right now and a 2-3 overall, but Hampton losing a tight one to Kiski area right now could sway the standings a bit.
I mean, Hampton was upset last week.
Well, Hampton certainly.
I think Fox Chapel knocked him off last week.
Well, Hampton last year finished with only 1 win in conference, 2 wins overall.
Armstrong calling timeout. They had a personnel issue.
But for Hampton to be in 3rd place in this position right now, as opposed to last year finishing in 8th, last place in the Northern Conference with a 1-6 record, 2-8 overall. I mean,
1-0-0-2.
it's playing better than it did last year, and to be in 3rd place is impressive for this team. Still, evidently, some holes losing to Kiski area right now, but already stronger than it was last year.
I'm telling you, Kiski's going to be tough the next couple of years. That team we saw last week, loaded with freshmen and sophomores.
Main concession stand for the
that was a sophomore and freshman heavy team.
Sandwich sponsored by the Craft House Gastro Pub.
So watch Kiski next couple of seasons. They're going to be loaded.
Steak sandwich.
Kiski's running game is very strong.
Craft House.
Well, Penn Hill says, Armstrong, you call timeout, we'll call timeout.
Right. Don't forget, coming up after the game, it's the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Dawn Rebel from the Excella Health Studios at the High School Sports Network World Headquarters with all the scores and recaps from Week 5 of the 2019 football season. Don't miss the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show after the game, only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Kiski had a very strong running game last week. What beat Kiski was its inability to pass the football for the majority of the game. Penn Hills was able to stop the run. I've talked about the past 2 weeks how if an offense is running monotonously, any decent defense that is good with fundamentals and has good form is going to stop that.
Well, they're trying to get everything set. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It's first down following the change of possession. Each team called timeout because of personnel issues. And now we're going to get up to snap the ball. Rittinger left side on the toss. Inside the 30.
Isaac Ridinger, the
To
ball
the 29,
carrier.
picks up 6 yards.
Tackled by Jameer Brown.
Still 52-7 now with under 7 minutes left in quarter number 3.
You're right over there.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I remembered his name now from Kiski area as this play happens.
Rittinger down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal after the 20-yard scamper.
Yeah, pardon me, but Luke Lander was the young man, one of the running backs from Kiski area who was playing quarterback a little bit too. But this year in 35 attempts, he has 253 yards.
I brought the freshman quarterback in late, and he almost rallied Kiski for the win over Penn Hills. Rittinger, no, it's going to be Brown up the middle inside the 5. Ball comes out and he hit the turf at the 4-yard line. Picks up 5.
Labron Smith was the quarterback you're speaking of for Kiski area as well, and I was told that he didn't play very much against Penn Hills last week because he didn't complete any of his 5 passes and threw a couple interceptions, which is not what we saw when he played Penn Hills. It was the game before that he had a hard time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Direct snap to Rittinger, loses his hand on the football, picks it up, has nowhere to go as it's all Indians. And he'll be dropped back at the 13-yard line. It's a loss of 9.
I mean, some of the reserves for Penn Hills playing aggressively. It was Jameer Brown, the first man in on that tackle. And the Penn Hills defensive line, even though these are more secondary guys now, more second and third string guys, I mean, they're playing aggressively. And it's very good. It's a good sign for a football team when every depth of personnel on the team is playing with some kind of passion and some kind of aggressiveness that makes these teams strong.
Brown, throwback screen. There's Rittinger underneath. Rittinger down at the 6-yard line.
Brown's pass complete to Isaac Ridinger, tripped up by number 28.
And it'll be 4th and goal just outside the 5-yard line. Already under 4.5 to go here in quarter number 3.
4th down and goal.
That's what happens when there's a running clock. And that's the design of these games. Like I talked about, neither of these teams really want to be competing in a game that's lopsided like this, so it's best to just keep running the plays, keep making things happen if you can, but then getting off the field and focusing on next week.
Armstrong tries to go for the end around. They fumble it. Penn Hills falls on it,
exchange,
but it's going to be Penn Hills' ball no matter what because it's 4th down anyway.
Don't forget to stop by.
So Penn Hills will take over with 4:14 to go here in the third quarter. Ball at their own 14-yard line.
Don't forget to stop down and pick a couple up.
Officials wind the clock.
And again, Penn Hills in a 52-7 game that it's winning, expected to run the ball regardless of circumstances as opposed to passing it, keeping players safe and keeping the clock moving.
Dallas Harper in at quarterback for Penn Hills. Indians moved a little early.
5 of the play. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Well, now the mistakes are coming in, and at least it's in a game that's not close. That's the third penalty that's been called on the line by Penn Hills in this game.
Watching the Armstrong cheerleaders are all doing backflips down the track. Sherrod Odom with the carry across the 15. Markham at the 13-yard line, picks up 4.
Sherrod Odom with the carry, tackled by John
Yeah, I didn't quite
Shaner.
notice the track at first just because I was focusing on the football field, but around like the first quarter, I was like, oh, there's a track on this field too. It accommodates soccer. I can imagine how cool a track meet would be here just to watch in a stadium like this. Not that it's one of the most popular sports, but at the same time, just this field's great. I don't know what else to say. I'm just saying I like this stadium very much.
Looks like on a broken play. Harper keeps it himself. He'll lose 3.
Dallas Harper tackled by Josh Shaner, loss on the play.
It'll be 3rd and 14 for the Indians. I don't expect you'll see pass. Although even if it's incomplete, the clock continues to run.
Yeah, but it's more dangerous for players when you're talking about a pass game versus a running game. A run game, there's standard assignments for the offensive linemen. Your wide receivers have the standard assignment of blocking. If you start putting receivers in danger, keeping the ball in the air, it's more of a danger to the personnel as a whole to pass than to run.
Harper rolls to his right. Does throw, has a man complete underneath across the 20. Up across the 30, the 35, the 40. Still on his feet behind his secondary is Deshaun Smith. And Deshaun Smith will go 90 yards, but there's a penalty flag back at the 14.
Touchdown Penn Hills, a 90-yard touchdown reception, but there is a flag on the play back at the 14-yard line.
And that flag's away from the play as well.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense. This is for the goal. Replay 3rd down.
Well, second long touchdown called back for the Indians tonight.
Yeah. It's still 52-7, though. It's not going to hurt them too much.
Well, I mean, if you're Deshaun Smith,
Yeah.
you know, there's a touchdown that yours that gets called back.
Yeah, when you look at it that way from the individual standpoint, I mean, it is tough to have your touchdown called back, that's for sure. Scoring is exciting.
You know, it's not like you're Tony Grimes where you're going to get in 3 more times in the game.
That's very true.
You know, when you get in, when you're a substitute that gets in, and you have a 90-yard touchdown. I mean, tell you, I remember back in my day, I had a 90-yard touchdown.
That's true.
Top that, where Skippy.
Oh God. Oh boy.
Harper gets out of his own end zone, scrambles, gets away. Oh! Brought down from behind. He had some room to go. Winds up picking up just 2 yards.
Tackled by Cole Brown. It'll bring up 4th
But, I mean, it was
down.
back at the 7-yard line, but possibly a touchdown-saving tackle. 93 yards away from the goal line.
Yeah, Cole Brown was in there on the tackle, the junior, also the quarterback on offense for Armstrong. Grabbing whatever he could. The legs were right there, so he wrapped up the legs and
Penn Hills
can't run without your legs.
Penn Hills is going to do something they haven't done yet tonight.
Oh, I know the answer. Punt the football.
Oh! Ding, 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 ding. Wait, are they going to punt the football?
Oh, we both spoke too soon.
Oh, no. Turn in your prizes. Well, that should go back to Harper, and he'll probably boot it himself. There we go.
Well,
Oh, short little kick. Picked up at the 27-yard line. And Armstrong will have dandy field position at the 19.
Punt taken by number
Aaron
20.
Robb on the
Aaron
attempted
Robb.
return there.
Return down to the
I was surprised. So we got it right, but we thought we didn't. That we did. Okay.
We never self-doubt.
19-yard line.
So that may be the final play of the third
Riverhawks.
quarter. There's 22 seconds left. Officials, I think we're going to roll the clock here, so they set the ball.
Don't
They
forget
should do.
in between the 3rd and the 4th quarter.
Still
the
52-7,
Mills
Penn Hills
back.
leading.
I mean, the clock should be running right now.
No, the ball's got to be set first.
Well, they had the ball down.
Right.
just at Armstrong we sent on the sideline. We'll get a play off. Brown keeps it himself. 5, touchdown. Cole Brown.
Touchdown, Riverhawks. Cole Brown with a 19-yard rushing touchdown.
Armstrong cuts the lead to 52-13 with 8 seconds to go here in quarter number 3.
There's no holder on the field.
I thought they were going to maybe try to do a drop kick. Kick is up and good. 8 seconds to go, third quarter. Penn Hills 52, Armstrong 14. You're watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Riverhawks 14.
Also coming up after the game, it's the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Dawn Rebel from the Excella Health Studios at the High School Sports Network World Headquarters with all the scores and recaps from Week 5 of the 2019 WPIAL football season. Don't miss the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show after the game, only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Friday, October 11th.
So just a piece of information on the Mercy clock. So it's 52-14 right now. After a 35-point difference is reached, 35 or more, the clock continues to run unless a team calls a timeout, unless the officials call a timeout, or unless a touchdown is scored, or unless the ball changes hands. So once the ball changes hands, it's up to the officials to instruct the scoreboard operator to run the clock. But after every turnover, the clock does stop for a brief moment until the officials give the approval to have it run again.
But even if a team gets within 35, it remains a running clock. I mean, it stays a running clock for the whole half. I mean, if you get 35, you can pull back into make it 35-31, but that clock still runs. I mean, that's the thing about the Mercy rule. Is that no matter if a team gets back into it, that clock runs for the remainder of the half as well. So, I mean, if you're trying to get back into a game, I mean, you got to move quickly.
Kicking off for the Riverhawks, number 29, Adam Hudock.
I mean, Armstrong's down 38 right now. I mean, if they score the next touchdown, they'll be down 31, but it still remains a running clock. Deshaun Smith brought down at the 17-yard line. And that'll do it.
Deshaun Smith on the return, tackle by number 19.
Quarter number 3. After 3, Penn Hills 52. Armstrong 14. You're watching the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Well, that scoreboard show with Dawn Rebel does start at 9 o'clock, but if you want the recap of this game afterwards, you want recaps on any game that happened today, any game around the WPIAL, you can tune into that. Dawn Rebel will be in the Excella Health Studios at the HSN World Headquarters with all the scores and recaps from Week 5, which is this week.
I believe it's worth $200 tonight.
I still admire how much Penn Hills continues to fight and stay aggressive, even though the game is lopsided. I mean, Penn Hills is up 52-14, but still the team's fighting. Even the personnel further down the depth chart is still playing with aggression and with passion, and that is admirable from a team. And that's what creates winning teams. When you have good depth and when you have all the players on the roster caring about what's going on and staying active in the game and playing well, then you've got a good team on your hands.
This is a surprising 6A score. North Allegheny 34, Seneca Valley nothing.
Wow.
Peters Township is up 35-0 at Cannon Mac. Keith Pellman held for no gain. And there's an injured Indian on the field, and it is Pellman.
Keith Pellman, the ball carrier.
So don't forget, next week,
Carter Robbins with the tackle.
Penn Hills is Penn Hills is hosting Hampton High School. Hampton, as of right now, 2-2 in conference, 2-3 overall. It's good enough for third place in the conference. Penn Hills is in second place out of the 8 teams in the Northern Conference in 5A. And then next week, October the 4th, Armstrong High School is traveling to Shaler to play a conference game. Shaler not as fortunate to be in the top team. Shaler is in 5th place with a 1-1 conference record, a 2-3 overall, just behind Mars, who is right now 1-1 in conference and 3-2 overall.
Penn Hills Indians, interesting note, 3 of the next 4 games are at home. The last 4 games, 3 of them are home games. They'll be home next week to Hampton, go on the road to Shaler, be home to take on Baldwin in a non-conference matchup, and then close out, which looks like it's going to be for the conference title, against the North Hills Indians at Penn Hills.
Yeah, if both North Hills and Penn Hills continue to play well, it is going to come down to that game. North Hills has not lost a football game yet this season. That's conference and non-conference games. But that is huge for Penn Hills. Home field advantage, especially late in the year, can be a factor. And the teams won on the road against Latrobe and against Kiski area last week. It's going to be certainly an interesting finish.
What's the Trib Live video stream game of the week this week? It's not the Woodland Hills game, is it?
Well, I'm not sure, but I can find out.
I was going to say, because they are going to overtime.
Oh.
West Allegheny and Woodland Hills tied at 14 at the end of regulation.
So the game of the week
I just know it's not us.
It's well, the video games of the week are Shaler at Mars, West Allegheny at Woodland Hills, Newcastle at South Park, Hempfield at Mount Lebanon, Pine Richland at Central Catholic.
That's what it is. It's Pine Richland Central Catholic.
That one started at 7:20.
I just know how the head honcho, Justin, how he loves overtime.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Broken play. Harper goes down at the 11-yard line.
Dallas Harper, tackled by number
Well, that was just a
14,
simple
John
mistake
Yancey.
of the quarterback and the running back weren't on the same side of the handoff. The quarterback
He got a
was
nice tackle. How about
forced to
some nice
improvise
cookies
and
down at the
put onto the
Riverhawk
football at all costs.
Cookie tent. They are located at the Spirit Wear tent, donated by Damon Chiropractic. So thank you to Damon Chiropractic for donating Riverhawk cookies, available at the Spirit Wear tent.
Gateway Gators are up on top of North Hills Indians 26-0.
That could be big.
Harper for no gain. Well, it won't do anything for conference standings. It's a non-conference matchup.
It'll even up North Hills and Penn Hills, though, in the overall.
And that's at halftime, by the
Dallas
way.
Harper, the ball carrier. Tackled by number 25, Dominic Grossbauer.
Harper gets knocked down Nothing called.
Punt goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. First down and 10, Riverhawks.
That's interesting there, Nicholas Callis. Your thought about it. He's back there as a punter. He did punt and got knocked over, and there was no penalty called.
Well, it depends how close it was. I mean, there was enough space in between there. Or there was not enough space in between there to call a penalty. Sometimes you got to give credit to how fast a defender is coming in to try to block the punt, and you know, got to give him the benefit of the doubt of, can he reasonably stop if he's attempting to make an aggressive play and make an attempt to stop that one. So nobody's hurt and nothing came out of it. No extracurricular activity, so to speak, no fights. So I mean, it's good to just let that one go and move on with the game, especially because it's lopsided.
Okay. And again, the Indians' defense aggressive. That was Rittinger. They lose 4.
Isaac Ridinger, the ball carrier. Tackled by Jamie Tigner.
Now, meanwhile, these Penn Hills subs need to not get too aggressive here. I know they want to make a statement.
Well, certainly you don't want to get hurt in a game like this, but sometimes it's fun to play aggressively in a game that has a foregone conclusion. I mean, these players can get excited to be in a varsity game under the lights, not on a Saturday morning when you're tired and the sun's rising and the heat is rising as the day progresses.
Rittinger on the flat left side, inside the 20, inside the 15. Rittinger will be first and goal. Armstrong at the 6-yard line. 16 yards. Excuse me, it's 26 yards for Ridinger. And it's first and goal.
Talk about
Riverhawks.
Plowden. That's going to be good for a Riverhawk first down.
But it's just still good for a football team, too, to score, make the fans happy. 3 touchdowns isn't anything to be to shake your head at. Although Penn Hills does have 52. It's still good, a little bit of pride to score and have some fun with a game like this.
Rittinger toss right, gets flipped down at the 5.
That's the second time Penn Hills has done that in this game.
Jameer Brown.
Tackled low and created a flip.
And an Indian goes down. Anthony Smith started to run off, and then he just dropped. So the clock will stop with 8:08 to go here in quarter number 4. And a very fast-moving second half.
Well, of course, because the running clock plays a factor in that, too. The clock's not stopping because of incomplete passes or plays that go out of bounds late in the quarter. Both teams are running the ball now with how the score is. It's 52-14, 8:08 left in quarter number 4. So it makes sense that the clock's running quickly, but this game has dragged along more than it has the last couple weeks. And that's because Penn Hills has scored more rapidly. There have been more passing plays in this game than we've seen the last couple weeks at the very least. And when you have a lot of scoring, a lot of variation in plays, that's what you're going to see, a longer game. But with the Mercy Rule clock coming, the clock moves faster in the second half. Don't forget, next Friday and Saturday, conference play continues at Trib HSSN. Has over 30 WPIAL games, football games that you can hear and watch at any time. Week 6 will also be here on the Trib, hssn.triblive.com.
Rittinger right side. Does not get in, gets down to about the 2-yard line.
Isaac Ridinger, the ball carrier, tackled by Ben Reeves.
And it'll be third and goal, Riverhawks.
Armstrong's been trusting its run game for the majority of the game. Maybe changing it up and throwing a pass here would lead to a score and throw off Penn Hills a bit.
Low snap, Rittinger up the middle, spins. Try to move the scrum. They'll get down to about the 1-yard line.
Isaac Ridinger with the carry. Jamie Tigner with the stop.
That'll be fourth and goal.
Down and goal.
Cole Brown keeps it himself.
Riverhawks. Number 2,
His
Cole
second
Brown,
touchdown of the game.
A 2-yard touchdown run.
Now 52. So I almost feel bad for Rittinger that he wasn't the one that put the ball into the end zone.
Yeah, he propelled that drive. Had some good runs, fought for yards, seems like an aggressive running back. Didn't finish the job, but at the same time, as a team player, however your team scores is good for everybody, not just you.
Penalty flags come in.
Point after attempt.
I think Penn Hills was way off sides.
Side of the play. Encroachment. Defense.
As well as calls, you need encroachment. Everybody.
Repeat the shot.
Speaking of that, you ever see an offsides call by a referee in the NFL, like offsides, the entire offensive line, replay first down? Or I always find
They
those
had that a
amusing.
couple weeks ago. Steelers, false start. The entire offensive line except for the center.
Yeah.
Point
Kick
after
goes
is no
wide.
good.
Score remains Penn Hills 52, Armstrong 20. The Riverhawks now
25 to
trail
go in the
by
game. Penn Hills
32 with
52,
6:25 to go here in the fourth quarter.
20.
Ringgold with a win tonight. And a long losing streak, 16-13 win over Beaver. Congratulations to the Rams. Well, Woodland Hills got on the board in the overtime. It's 20-14. West Allegheny has to get the ball.
And don't forget, coming up after this game, it's the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel from the Excella Health Studios at the HSN World Headquarters. He'll be recapping all the games from the WPIAL that happened today from Week 5, so don't miss it. The show started at 9, but if you want a recap of this game or to check out any recaps from anywhere around the WPIAL and football, it's the Scoreboard Show. Check it out with Don Rebel coming up after this game and running till midnight.
Now, if you're Armstrong, what are you do? You kicking it deep? You're gonna try for an onside kick. I mean, seriously.
There's no sense in risking injury on a play where you're going to try and dive for the ball. Kick for field position here. The game's clearly out of reach. There's no sense in risking anything or creating any trickery where there doesn't need to be any.
I don't know. Penn Hills is leaving a big gap right in the middle there. And they do kick it away to the 18-yard line. Officials let that one go for a while and brought down at the 35-yard line. That was Deshaun Smith on the return.
Deshaun Smith on the return. Tackled by number 19, Austin Patton. First down and 10, Penn Hills.
Oden will lose a yard.
Sherrod Oden on the carry. Tackled by John Yancey for 1 yard loss. Second down, 11.
I don't know, Nick. We'll see where they assign you next week, but hopefully we'll see you out of Penn Hills next Friday night.
Certainly will be a better drive than these last 2 weeks. I'm down in Waynesburg for school, so Kiski area and Katanning are quite out of reach for me from all the way down there.
But somehow you managed to make it, and we appreciate it. Harper will be sacked back at the 28-yard line. Loss of 6. Indians definitely not padding the stats here in the second half.
By number 25.
In fact, quite the
Dominic
opposite.
Grossbauer.
But they're running the clock. 40-second clock now at 35 seconds, and I'm sure the Indians will try to use up all of it.
Yeah, for sure. So other games around 5A today. It's Thomas Jefferson 55, Connellsville 7, Upper St. Clair beating Fox Chapel 21-0. North Hills losing to Gateway 26-0.
Is that a final? Or it's second half?
Well, it started at 7:30, so I would think it's still underway. I'll try to get an answer for you on that.
Smith with the carry near side.
Deshaun Smith with the carry, tackled by number 39, Josh
We have a
Shaner.
fourth down for Penn Hills.
It'll be a fourth down.
Kiski area on top of Hampton, 21-17. McKeesport 34, Greater Latrobe 14, Moon 9, Bethel Park 7.
So Penn Trafford is pulling away from Plum 41-3. Harper gets the kick away. Better kick. Out-kicked the coverage there. Kiski will fall on it at the 37-yard line.
Ball's going to be Riverhawk
Armstrong
football,
takes
first
over
down
with
and
3:19 to go.
at their own 37-yard line.
They should probably about wrap it up here, I would think, with this drive.
Yeah, this is one where you don't want anything to go on too long. I'm sure Armstrong will just attempt to run the clock out and put an end to this one. It's 52-20, running toward 3 minutes. Clock still moving.
About 8 yards on the play.
Tackled by number 30, Ken Eason.
Caden Olson.
This is timeout for an injury call.
His first carry of the game picks up 8, and there's an injured Indian on the field. That's Kayla Ashley.
Well, that's 6 injuries today, 3 on each side. Despite the lopsided score, significant amount of players have gone down to injury now.
Looks like a Charlie horse.
Yeah, nothing serious, just enough for the officials to put a hold on the clock.
Enough for them to be down on the turf.
Right. Hey, and don't forget, next Friday and Saturday, conference play continues as the Trib Live High School Sports Network has over 30 WPIAL football games. You can hear and watch all the big games from Week 6 here at tribhssn.triblive.com. Your one true source for all high school sports is the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
News. The Lady Riverhawks fell to the Kiski Lady Cavaliers 244-210. Macy Lorgan led the Riverhawks shooting a 49. Sophia Dobransky with a 63 and Avery Kaminsky with a 64.
Penn Hills, all-out rush, pass downfield, tipped in the air.
Caden Olson's pass is incomplete, intended for Sean Feliciano.
It looked like Marquel Willis was going to come down with it for Penn Hills on an interception, but turning defensive back on the play was Sean Feliciano.
Willis on the breakup.
That's a play that took me by surprise. Armstrong trying to make a last-minute statement and throw one downfield and see what happens.
Hey, why not?
Yeah, not a bad call at all.
Olson in a quarterback for the Riverhawks. He'll move Shaner to his left. And Olsen will be sacked back at the 40-yard line. He'll lose 5.
Aiden Olsen brought down in the backfield. Tackled by Malik Smith.
Clock rolling under, a minute and a half to go in this one.
Armstrong defeated Kiski and West Shamokin in a tri-match. Anthony Lobb with a team best 39. Maddox Rurick shot a 41. Nick Gavrin on senior day shot a 48.
This is very well Armstrong's last offensive attempt.
And Robert Kirchhoff, senior.
And Penn Hills will most likely get the ball with about a minute left in the game.
Olsen's pass. Spoke too soon.
Caden Olsen's pass.
Falls incomplete. They'll turn the ball over on downs. Feliciano had it, but then
be a turnover on
wasn't able to hold on to it. Penn Hills will take over at the 40-yard line with minute 5 to go, and Penn Hills maybe just to take a knee. The officials will set the ball. The clock will stop. Penn Hills doesn't really have to get the ball off till 30 seconds. Take a knee, and that's it. In fact, we'll see whenever they start the play clock. Or they have started the play clock. No, they haven't. It's still 25 seconds. Yeah, Penn Hills will set up in the championship formation. Harper takes a knee. And that'll do it. Penn Hills does not have to run another offensive play, and the clock will wind down. Your final score from Armstrong Central High School, the Penn Hills Indians 52, the Armstrong Riverhawks 20. And a crazy game, Nicholas Callis.
Yeah, crazy, but at the same time, parts of it were expected. Armstrong has been a weak team.
Armstrong 20.
Remains in last place, remains winless. Penn Hills, a stronger team with mistakes, but mistakes were seldom in this game. Penn Hills came out executing well, playing its game, doing a decent job of making the plays when he needed to make them, and really shut this game down in the first half. The score was 52-7 in the first half, and Penn Hills just dominated. It was a matchup that played out as the standings had it. Penn Hills, the second-place team, remains undefeated in conference now, and Armstrong, the last of 8 teams in the Northern Conference, now is still winless as we're past the halfway point in WPIAL football.
Penn Hills now actually moves into a first-place tie with the North Hills Indians. North Hills in a non-conference game tonight. So both teams now equal in conference victories.
Yeah, North Hills down to Gateway.
Also, good luck
and
to the 7th and 8th grade football team.
So now North Hills not undefeated
on October 2nd
at all. North Hills was undefeated overall until that game, and Penn Hills lost in week 1 to Pine Richland to snap its undefeated streak. But Penn Hills is still undefeated in conference, and that's going on now. It's an 11-game streak that Penn Hills has undefeated in the Northern Conference.
So the Indians first place, tied at first place in the conference. Armstrong, they didn't play poorly, but in that first half they gave up a punt return for a touchdown and 2 interception returns for a touchdown. They gave Penn Hills the ball at the 4-yard line and 7-yard line on turnovers. That was another 10 points. So there's 31 points off of miscues that they gave Penn Hills in this one. So, take away those 31 points, it's a whole different ball game tonight.
Yeah, well, that's something I've talked about and that I was thinking as well was Armstrong would have to capitalize on Penn Hills' mistakes. The problem was that Penn Hills didn't make very many mistakes in the first half, and Armstrong did. The only way that Armstrong was going to be able to pull this game out is if Penn Hills made some mistakes and Armstrong capitalized them right away. But since that didn't happen, the game came out as the standings read it.
Touchdown, Tony Grimes with 3 touchdowns tonight, a pass reception, an interception, and a punt return for the Penn Hills Indians. Big night for the senior. Eddie McKissick, also a nice night for the Penn Hills Indians. On the Armstrong side of the ball, I mean, Isaac Ridinger tonight, the kid played his heart out. You know, he was rushing and didn't give up. They played late into the second half. They set up Armstrong Central for their third touchdown. He didn't bring it in on the final play, but it was all Ridinger down to the 2-yard line before Brown brought it in from 2 yards out for his second touchdown of the game. But he played very well tonight for Armstrong. But, you know, they're a team that's struggling. They have some injuries. You know, but it was tonight was just not their night. Their miscues turned into points for the Penn Hills Indians.
Yeah, and that's how it was. Again, Armstrong didn't capitalize, didn't play a very coordinated game of football today, but Penn Hills limited its mistakes, executed well, and dominated in the first half, which created a foregone conclusion for how this game turned out.
Again, the final score tonight here from Armstrong Central High School, the Penn Hills Indians 52, the Armstrong Central Riverhawks 20. For our broadcast partner, Nicholas Callis, I'm Bill Navari. Thank you very much for watching the WPIAL on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
I think she did. She took it down. Did you take a stool down? Yeah. Was there anything on it other than the towel?
That's it. The towel.
I just wanted to double check. Okay.